Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 48. Liu Dezhu, the Scapegoat. As the darkness dissipated, Qing Chen was still sweating profusely. He glanced at the night outside and his small house on Xingshu Road. Just a second after parting, he began to miss the gloomy prison. Qing Chen took out a USB from his mouth and then looked at the golden lump that should have remained in the other world, which was still in his hand. This was a pleasant discovery because it meant that he had an advantage over others when traveling between the two worlds. He lowered his head and looked at his arm, where a countdown of 168:00:00 was displayed. It was another 7 days. The last time he returned after 7 days, and this time he would cross over after 7 days, and it seemed that the time span of the time travelers on both sides was getting longer. How long would it take in the future? Would he stay there for a lifetime and not return? He didn't know. Qing Chen smiled. Instead of sleeping, he laid a sheet on the ground and continued to train according to the project taught by Yuan. Although no one was supervising him, self-cultivation was his own thing. Since he said he would train until 3 o'clock every day, he should continue to persevere when he returned to the other world. He took a deep breath and the flame pattern on his cheeks blossomed again with that strange breathing frequency. Self-discipline was the greatest freedom, whether in the other world or in the real world. Wait, he seemed to have forgotten something important. After finishing his exercise, Qing Chen sat on the ground and drank water while letting his sweat drip continuously. He opened his phone and found the simultaneous interpretation software, then tried to remember every word of Shindai Kyuan. A whispered sentence in Japanese from the other party had always made Qing Chen feel that there must be a lot of information hidden in it. Just like when you travel to a place, if the locals want to curse you, they will use a dialect you don't understand. Qing Chen recalled and repeated every word into the microphone of his phone. In the translation software, subtitles appeared quickly. It seems nice to sit so quietly like this, and this boy's silence is really beautiful. Qing Chen was stunned on the spot. What did the other party mean? Moreover, didn't the Shindai family also speak Mandarin? What was this Japanese? Was it a time traveler from the other world? Or did the Shindai family still retain the tradition of Japanese language? But if it really was a time traveler, how could the other party explain why they were so fluent in Mandarin? There were probably not many islanders who could speak Mandarin so fluently. The next morning, as soon as Qing Chen woke up, he saw the WeChat messages on his phone flashing non-stop. He opened it and saw that it was Nangingchen. Qing Chen, do you know how amazing Liu Dezhu from the next class is? Qing Chen was confused for a moment and immediately sat up from the bed. What do you mean? Come to the school quickly. Nangingchen said. Qing Chen put on his blue and white school uniform and ran to the school. Before leaving, he looked in the mirror and found that the after effects of his fasting had disappeared before he left with peace of mind. When he arrived at the school, he saw that the entrance of the next class was crowded with people. Dozens of students were waiting outside class 4 of grade 2, and it seemed that they were waiting for something. Over here, Nangingchen's small figure was standing in the crowd, tiptoeing and stretching his arms, trying to greet Qing Chen. Qing Chen squeezed past and whispered, "What's going on?" "You should check the hot search." Nangingchen opened Weibo and showed it to him. He was shocked when he saw it. Jian from Chuanzhou, who was on a business trip to Luocheng, accidentally became a time traveler and crossed over to the number 18 prison in the other world. However, the other party had already been recognized as a time traveler and was being held in a hidden single cell. 7 days of crossing over, 7 days of being detained. According to Jian, a time traveler had become a key figure in number 18 prison and could even come and go freely in the cell and make superhumans serve him. Jian hoped to find this time traveler for negotiation, even willing to pay, and hoped that the other party could persuade number 18 prison to release him. Qing Chen was stunned. He didn't expect Jian Xing to be so bold that he directly sought media help and then asked him for help. It seemed that the other party was suffocating after being locked up for 7 days. It had to be said that Liu Dezhu and Jian Xing were unlucky. They had become time travelers, but were forcibly detained. Other time travelers had a colorful life, watching holographic images in the city or wandering around the cyber city, while they were sent to prison in another world. It was better to stop time traveling altogether. At this moment, Qing Chen suddenly realized why everyone was gathering at Liu Dezhu's class door. Even though Liu Dezhu had not yet arrived at school, everyone was willing to wait for him. Last time when he returned, Liu Dezhu admitted that he had crossed over to number 18 prison because of Face, and he even told everyone that he had talked to Li Shu. When classmates asked, Liu Dezhu always looked mysterious and didn't say anything, meaning that it was classified information. The less he said, the more people liked to guess. Therefore, many people thought that Liu Dezhu was about to receive Li Shu's inheritance and become a time traveler. Now that Jian Xing's incident had come out, when people saw the hot search, they immediately thought of Liu Dezhu. Because, in everyone's knowledge, besides Liu Dezhu, there was no one else among the time travelers in number 18 prison. As the hot search gradually climbed, someone finally replied in the comments, "My classmate is the time traveler he mentioned, and he is about to receive Li Shu's inheritance." Originally, Jian Xing's hot search was only in the 40s, but after this comment came out, the hot search jumped into the top 10 within 3 minutes. The heat was even still rising. In the current world, except for mysterious figures like He Xiaoxiao, there were not many known superhumans. And it was Li Shu, the career path with the highest potential in He Xiaoxiao's strategy. Almost everyone who saw this hot search and comment believed that Liu Dezhu was the mysterious big shot mentioned by Jian Xing. Just when everyone was whispering, Liu Dezhu came upstairs with his school bag. When he turned into the corridor, he saw a sea of people in front of him and his face turned pale with fear. What's wrong? Everyone was helpless, even the real protagonist didn't know what was going on. Haven't you seen the hot search? If you haven't seen it, check your phone, a classmate said. There is a person named Jian Xing who said he met you in number 18 prison and hopes you can plead with Li Shu to let him out of the confinement room. Liu Dezhu's brain buzzed at that moment. He was locked up for 7 days, so he was exhausted even after returning. He overslept and rode his bike to school without checking his phone. He quickly opened his phone and checked the hot search. But the more he looked, the more he felt that something was wrong. According to Jian Xing, the mysterious big shot had visited him alone and asked him a few questions. But that person was not him. Therefore, besides himself and Jian Xing, there was a third time traveler in number 18 prison, and the other party was the real big shot, while he was just a scapegoat. I also want to beg the big shot to let me and Jian Xing out together, okay? Liu Dezhu cried internally. At this point, he wanted to deny his identity because the matter had escalated. Liu Dezhu tried to say, actually, the person Jian Xing mentioned wasn't me, it was someone else. A classmate asked in confusion, yesterday when I asked if there were any other time travelers in cell 18, you said no. But for Liu Dezhu, who had time traveled 7 days into the past, yesterday in the real world was already a week ago. Qing Chen silently watched the scene, thinking that it wouldn't be bad for someone else to attract attention. However, it was not a solution for these two to stay in solitary confinement for a long time. Maybe Li Shuang could transfer them to another prison. At this moment, 4 news vehicles drove up outside the Luoqing Foreign Language School, and the reporters rushed into the school after getting off the cars. The 2 security guards at the school gate tried to stop them, but they couldn't. Qing Chen immediately pulled Nan Gingchen and turned back to the classroom when he saw this, as it was important to avoid being on camera at times like this. Time travelers had the same appearance in both worlds, and once they appeared on TV, they would be remembered by people. Thank you for listening to this episode of the audio novel, The Timeless Hunter. If you enjoy this channel, click subscribe for more fascinating English audio novels. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, turn on notifications, or share on social media below so you can find this channel again. Let us know your thoughts. See you next time.